And SoFi stock can't catch a break. If you haven't been following along, SoFi reported earnings on Monday before the bell. Absolute smasher of an earnings. The stock was up 20% or more on the day. I think it closed the day right at 20% up on Monday. Not only did SoFi beat on so many different metrics, beat analyst expectations in that earnings report for full year 2023 and Q4 of 2023, but they also recorded their first quarter of profit, and not on an adjusted basis only, but on a GAAP basis. EPS was positive for the first time, 2 cents per share. Yeah, that may not seem like a lot, but when we're turning that profitability corner, of course the number is going to be small in the beginning. But what a lot of people tell me about SoFi and why they haven't opened the position is because there's so much market manipulation with SoFi, and I hear this a lot, and I know that it's true, and I understand it, but it doesn't stop me from wanting to own the stock. I kind of understand what people are talking about now that this piece of news came out, and I'm going to talk about what it is and why the stock has dropped so much in the last few days. We're going to get into that, but first, if you're new here, I'm Austin. I'm a co-owner of cloudbusinessweek.com. I'm a stock market investor, and most importantly for this video, I'm a SoFi shareholder, okay? If you're not one of those 2,700 or so subscribers, click that subscribe button, drop a like for me. It means a lot, helps out the channel in a massive way. Okay, let's get into it. What happened? What's going on? Why am I frustrated, okay? Like I said, Monday, the stock popped over 20%, and I posted a video leading up to earnings saying if they miss, we're gonna have a big downward movement. If they hit, I think we're gonna have a big upward movement. They obviously hit those numbers. They exceeded expectations in the EPS. They beat revenue by a lot, all the way up to a 35% growth rate on a year-over-year basis. And investors were rewarded in a massive way. It's very common for SoFi to pop after earnings and then have a drawback in a major way the next few days and give up almost all of the gains, if not 100% of the gains from the earnings pop. It gives it up over the next few days or weeks. And I expected that this was not going to happen again because SoFi's proven themselves. They say, not only are we a growth beast, but we're also profitable now. And their forecast was we're going to be profitable all of 2024, all of 2025, all of 2026. They even gave some long-term GAAP EPS numbers of a range of 55 cents to 80 cents a share in 2026. All very amazing things, all hugely positive news for a company like SoFi, who's still growing at 35% on a year-over-year basis. We've now got the best of both worlds. The more quarters that come in profitable, the more likely the conversation of S&P 500 inclusion, the stronger the company's going to get fundamentally, the more amount of investors who are potentially going to be interested in picking up SoFi shares, right? This is all positive stuff. Tuesday, the day after the earnings, stock was down like 8%. It makes sense when we have a massive pop for there to be a little bit of a drawback the next day, a little bit of profit taking, especially with a smaller market cap company, one that people like to get in and out of and use as a trading vehicle. It made sense to me. I was like, yeah, you know, that's still 12% up when you take the past 2 days into account. Now it's Wednesday. The trading day is not over yet, but as of right now, SoFi stock is down about 4.5%, and I saw it touch into the $7 range again, $7.97 or so. Now it's back up to $8.02 as of recording this video. We'll see where it all shakes out at the end of the trading day, but that's almost giving back all of the gains. If you back up to the end of trading on Friday, the week before they published their earnings, stock's at $7.70. We don't have that much to go before we're sitting right at that exact same level, $7.70. This is ridiculous. In my opinion, the main reason for the drop on Tuesday was people trading, okay? People use SoFi as a trading vehicle. I understand that. Do your thing. No worries. We were still up 12% on a 2-day basis. The reason we're down today is because we had an analyst come out from Mogran Stanley. His name's Jeffrey Adelson. He says that SoFi is way too optimistic about their profitability plan moving through 2026. He downgraded the stock from equal weight with a $7 price target down to underweight with a $6.50 price target. So what you're telling me is that a company that sits between the high 20s and the low 30s of revenue growth on a quarterly basis regularly is too optimistic now that they've hit profits, and you had them at $7 before they recorded this profit with an expected EPS of 0 cents per share in Q4, and they come in and beat that. They not only beat that, but they also beat revenue, and you say, you know what, they're too optimistic. I'm going to downgrade them down to a $6.50 price target for the end of 2024. So he thinks SoFi is going to be at $6.50 by the end of 2024. So a growth beast company that's going to have profits expanding, profitable quarter after profitable quarter after profitable quarter, is now downgraded from the prior $7 money loser version of SoFi down to the money maker version of SoFi now at $6.50. Doesn't make sense at all. I'm not buying it. I think almost all of this is about fair value accounting of loans. He talked about in his note that SoFi had risen 20% since Morgan Stanley upgraded the stock to equal weight after they had announced a $2 billion forward flow agreement and other loan sales. I think this is all about the fair value accounting of the loans, and he is frustrated that they use the fair value accounting metric, and he's worried that as the Fed brings rates down, it's going to bring the price of their loans down and what they can get when they sell these loans. I guess it wasn't enough for SoFi to say, hey, we have diversified the business in a major way. 60% is lending, 40% is financial services and tech platform. And then he said in full year of 2024, it's going to be 50% lending, 50% financial services and tech platform. So there's going to be two equal pillars. I don't even agree that the management team is pricing in too much optimism. I think they're being really, really conservative on the lending side of the business. In their projections, they say that there's going to be zero growth in the lending segment for all of 2024. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they're going to be low double digits in revenue growth on the lending side in 2024. They're pricing in 4 rate cuts. That's more than the market is pricing in. They're pricing in a 5% unemployment rate. That's more than what the market's pricing in. Am I selling because of this guy? Absolutely not. Am I selling because we had a 20% pop? Absolutely not. I'm definitely holding all of my shares. Like I've said many, many times on the channel, I have a ton of shares of SoFi. It's a very large position in my portfolio. I'm not going to be loading the boat unless we drop, dare I say, into the mid to low 6s or lower than that. Of course, I'm going to be loading the boat. I'll get even more overweight if we go into that scenario. I think the odds of that are unbelievably low, but I do think the odds of us dropping into the mid 7s to the low 7s, I think it's possible. If we're down there, I'm going to be picking up shares. Even in the high 7s, I might be picking up a few shares here and there, not aggressive buys or anything. I think these drops are fear-based and they're ridiculous. I think SoFi's future is extremely bright. It just got brighter with these GAAP profits and all the guidance saying they're going to be GAAP profitable pretty much forever. This is not a management team that puts out guidance that they can't hit. They have consistently come in and beat every single time. They know what they're doing. If this Morgan Stanley analyst really thinks that SoFi management team hasn't taken in the worst case scenario into account, he is delusional and does not listen to the conference call and does not actually follow and track the stock in a major way like he should. All right, that's all I got. This price movement in SoFi is extremely silly to me. We'll see how far it goes down, but man, I'm still a happy SoFi shareholder. Even if we drop, I'll remain a happy SoFi shareholder because I'm focused on the fundamentals of the company, not around the noise surrounding these analysts and what they believe is going to happen, saying someone's too optimistic with their profit outlook in 2026. Let me know if you own SoFi down there. Let me know if you sold recently, sold into the strength, sold into the weakness. If you're buying SoFi, I want to hear about it. I appreciate you being here in a major way. Thank you so much. Have a great day.